Hello everyone, my name is Sichka92 and welcome to Difficulty Review. This review's focus is on the gameplay and how the game challenges the player on the hardest difficulty. I will not go into great detail of each level, just into ones that are necessary for better understanding and explanation of the game. I will be comparing Halo Combat Involved a lot to the Halo Reach. For those who are new, hello, I make difficulty reviews and I have reviewed Halo Reach. Right from the start, Halo Combat Involved feels way more balanced. I have not repeated the same mistake from the last time and I have used the Magnum pistol. In Halo Combat Involved, it's one of the most useful guns and one of the strongest with 12 round mag, a scope and enough power to one-shot anything that doesn't have a shield. It's one of the most useful guns. The assault rifle feels so much better in Halo Combat Involved than in Halo Reach. It's truly a useful gun that I proceeded to use wherever I could. It has a 60 round mag, which is perfect for close combat. Its damage is balanced way better and that way it's better at mid-range compared to the Halo Reach, where it was practically useless. Those are our starting weapons and I will talk about the rest of them down the line. Let's finally talk about things to shoot. In total there are 8 basic types of enemies with some variety in each type. In Halo Reach I had a major grudge with HP and overall tankiness of the enemies. Thankfully that is not the case in Halo Combat Involved. Each enemy has its own unique way to deal damage and way to receive damage. The flood enemies are fine, nothing to write home about. They are practically a bunch of zombies. Let's focus on the Covenant. The grunts are small and fragile creatures, as they should be, unlike the sponges from the prequel, but they still do a nice amount of damage. With the elites I'm in love with. I'm in love how they balance them. In Halo Reach they didn't balance them very well, because the only way to deal with them is to shoot them with the plasma pistol to remove their shield and then finish them up with some other weapon, making the gameplay rather boring and repetitive. In Halo Combat Involved, however, you can take them down with any weapon, but it will come at the cost of ammo. Not a ridiculous amount, but you won't feel like you're tickling them, and best of all, you won't be forced to carry a plasma pistol wherever you go, therefore making the experience way better and the ability to use different weapons much more fun. The Jackals and the Hunters are okay. The Jackals have a shield that reflects all ballistic ammo, so positioning is really important, no grudges there. The Hunters, well, they're big and tanky, and they have a big gun. You have to get behind them to access their weak spot to kill them easier, and to be completely honest, I don't think I saw that many of them, which I'm fine with, because when I saw them I knew that the battle was serious and that I needed to bring my A game to the table. But it gets better. Another problem I had with Halo Reach was how my allies did not damage and had zero impact on the game. In Halo Combat Evolved, however, whenever there are friendly units you feel relieved, because they are quite supportive and useful. They do nice amount of damage and they survive quite a nice amount of time, given that you take charge and make the enemies focus their fire on you. The problem comes in how the game makes itself difficult, so to say. Let us talk about the level design, because most of the challenge comes from it. We have 2 parts of level design, the big open one and the close combat one. I have a problem with the big open level design, because each one of them boils to you holding the point and enemies just keep coming, tens at a time, which makes it a bit repetitive but not necessarily boring. I'll give you in total 3 examples. In all of those examples I got stuck for quite a nice amount of time. First one took me 35 minutes, second one took me 45 and the third one took me 45 minutes as well. In just those 2 hours or so I rage quitted about 10 times. I do not have a problem with getting stuck on a level. That is part of the charm when you play the game on the hardest difficulty. While I genuinely do think that all of the units and the guns are balanced very well, a lot of times I would find myself in a situation where there would be 20 to 30 enemies shooting at me and me just running away, making the experience not so interactive. But what made me love this game in a way is, even though I got stuck, there is a way to handle each level by precisely killing enemies in a particular order and using precise time frames to kill them. making the experience extremely rewarding once you get it. And nowhere is it more visible than on the example number 2. The first example I have is when you have to hold a point of sorts and you are attacked by 3 waves of enemies. They're all coming from dropships. What makes this part a bit easier is that after each wave there is a checkpoint. So even if you die, you don't necessarily restart from the beginning. But what makes this part hard is that with each new wave the enemies are harder and harder. They start with mostly grunts and end up with 6 elites and quite a nice amount of jackals. Another challenge of this level is that you only have your assault rifle and you have to risk your HP to get a plasma pistol or a needler to handle the elites easier.
Hi guys, it's been about a month since the last time I touched the review, and since then I changed the residence, so if I sound a bit different I apologize about that.
Now I'm gonna tease you just a little bit more before I give you the example number 2. The 2 important things I want to explain so that you get a better understanding of how you can easily softlock yourself in a way that you will struggle a lot with the level. First thing you need to realize is how important your HP is. There is not a lot of places where you will get to replenish your HP, so paying attention on your shield level is very important. Because once you get low HP, trying to trade on harder parts of the level is impossible. You will die from the smallest mistakes you make. Second thing is not learning from your deaths. A lot of times on the map there will be a scripted appearance of enemies or an enemy. And in those moments it is crucial that you kill them as soon as they appear. Failing to do so will result in you dying or having a hard time to find an opening to kill the enemy again. Surprisingly, sometimes this game does require quite a nice amount of skill and planning. For example, on this part of the level I had to stealthily kill the grunts, so I could stick the grenade on an elite and then think on my feet on how to deal with the invisible ones. Failing to land the grenade or being seen while trying to be stealthy resulted in an immediate death, because there was 5 elites in a quite small space. Got all of that? Good. Now let me tell you all about the example number 2.
I'm gonna go insane.
For this snowy hell, it took me 45 minutes and 2 rage quits to get past it. The main challenge was in the weapons that I chose to carry with me, a missile launcher and a sniper rifle. Now on paper that sounds quite perfect, but the problem was there's so many enemies that I would run out of bullets on my sniper rifle, and there were so many vehicles I ran out of missiles. Many times I died because I missed my shot. Missing was simply not an option on this level. My aim had to be 100% accurate. Not only to save ammo, but not to receive damage as well, because I did not come with a lot of HP to my name to begin with. There is in total 3 phases of this level: the opening, the fighting behind cover, and the vehicle fights. In the opening, the most important thing was not to miss the shot on the elite that was on the left side of the map with bunch of grunts. The second part of the first phase was to kill as many grunts as I can with the grenade and then finish the rest with melee or switching to a plasma pistol, and that way saving ammo for the second phase, the fighting behind the cover. The second phase has a lot of influence on how the third phase will play out. If you let a lot of grunts escape, they will mount stationary guns and be annoying. Also, an important scripted event happens in second phase. An elite will appear far behind a rock where one of the vehicle is. Sniping him will make a vehicle fight much easier. The second phase is pretty much picking off any enemies that are stupid enough to peek behind cover, while you have your sniper rifle pointed at them. If you have done everything correct in phase 2, in phase 3 you should be left with only 2 enemies that you should worry about. 1 ghost and 1 banshee. The strategy I used was to get to one of the stationary weapons and kill both of them that way, and finally completing the part of the level. Before I wrap this video up, I would ask you to subscribe if you want more difficulty reviews and commentary on upcoming games. Now originally I was gonna give you another example but I decided not to because I believe the point was made. Instead, I will make a small rant, if you will. From this point on, the game took a nosedive regarding how fun it was. The main difficulty of the game was no longer coming from different combination of enemies or the terrain or lack of special weapons that was needed for some kind of enemies. It was coming simply by sheer number of enemies you were fighting. And the game started to feel more and more sameish. In moments it felt like I had a deja vu or that I was stuck in a loop of sorts. Other than that, I have no grudges for the game. It was a really fun experience. Each weapon and each enemy were balanced quite well, and most important of all, each weapon had its purpose and time and place to shine, making the gunplay diverse and fun and engaging. My verdict for the game is an 8 out of 10. While the difficulty aspect of the game did suffer at the end of the game, the core gameplay is still really enjoyable and fun throughout the whole game. Till the next time.